all manner of substances, and in the midst of those substances, their minds are knocked off and they are raped. Is the pastor telling you to go and give somebody substances that will knock off her head so you could rape the person? What the pastor is simply telling you is that these evils exist in our world. But where I have my problem is that in the realm of entertainment, my dear brother, what the musicians are doing, they are not exposing the ills in society. They are celebrating the ills in society. These are two different things. Chafo plays the role of a drug baron because the message is to let the world out there know that such characters exist, right? But if you follow the storyline to the end, you find that good triumphs over what? Evil at the end of the story. What does that tell you? That if you go this way, you are likely going to end this way. Because you find that the man who was a drug baron, a ritual killer, whatever, eventually ends up probably in jail or dies or something, which means that no, don't go this route. This route will lead you to untimely death. But you see, you watch some of our entertainment musicians and all of those. They are telling you, my brother, go and make money. That money rules the world. That if you don't have money, you are not even existing. Look at your mate. You find them praising to high heavens a 24-year-old who is already living in a house that is worth 5 billion, who comes to a public event and sprays 10 million Nigerian naira in this economy, and you are giving him all the praise, celebrating him, giving him all adulations, and creating the impression in impressionable minds that this is the way to go. So you tell me how you're going to fight Yahoo and Yahoo Plus. And Yahoo Plus is destroying children of 10, 11, 12, 13-year-olds. I don't know if you saw the video that went viral not too long ago of about 4 or 5 boys that were arrested in Abuja who had gone to commit crime, I think armed robbery or something. And they started asking them questions. And this one said he took colos and Wolo, that is India hemp, and loud. They were between the ages of 13 and 16. So, what would drive a 13 to 16-year-old into those things? Colos, loud, and Indian hemp. Oh, I don't know I know what Indian hemp looks like. I've never taken it. But these other two, I don't know. At age 13, believe me, in my generation, some people were still peeing in the room. Some people were still swimming in the rain. But at 13, somebody had begun to take these very psychotropic substances in order to be able to do what? To be high, to hit, and make millions.
You know why I'm saying this? Because instead of acting ritualists and showing people that they can do blood money to make money, even though they are seeing the end, some people don't care about the end.
I agree with you.
That
yes.
Why not then go ahead to shoot the roles that shows ethical work, how people achieve something ethically and make money ethically, rather than showing how people can make money through ritual?
That is not the work of art. The work of art is to expose evil.
Some people are buying into the evil.
No, listen to me. My work as a trained actor, and I always use the word a career actor because I hold a degree in theater arts. I studied it the way you study your medicine or engineering. I didn't chance into it. So when I speak professionally, like a lawyer would speak professionally. My responsibility, just like the lawyer would go to court to advance serious arguments in order to do what? To ensure that injustice does not thrive. That is the way I advance my art. To expose those things that are existing in the dark and killing people. and then telling the world that these things exist. Thank God for social media. But for social media, would you have known that so many men sleep with their daughters? Would you have known that there are men who sleep with men? Sodomy. But for social media, we wouldn't have known that so many things. Social media now makes us to see the level of fakery within the so-called body of Christ. When some who claim to be pastors are ritualists. I mean, the video that went viral not too long ago had a man behind the curtain of his so-called altar was more like a cemetery of people that he had killed, harvested their organs and all of those. And so many terrible things. But for social media, probably wouldn't have known that these things they had always existed though. They had always been there. It is our responsibility to expose them.
Now, do you think because now they are doing some exposition now, people talk about the fact that the ritually thing doesn't really exist. Like you mentioned in the South, it's like the old kids they are talking about. Those guys are just murderers. I do not think that there is a path that somebody can be able to make money by killing people through rituals.
Because our works have exposed, you understand, the lie that was put upon these things.
But it looks like as though people can actually make money through killing people.
No, that is.
But it doesn't exist.
That is why I said to you that at the end of such stories, at the end of such movies, if you like,
yes,
by the time you watch these movies to the end, you will see that good thrives or triumphs over what
within the same movie.
No,
don't make money with the killing people.
No. See,
but it doesn't exist,
my brother. Some will exist. What I will not do is to share certain personal engagements of people who had come to me in the past to say they did this, that, and that, and that. Some have.
So you think actually exist?
From my professional experience and personal engagements with people, they exist. They do. For every 10, 6 exist. Then what has happened is that fakery now was introduced. Like everything in Nigeria. I mean, if this handset was very powerful and popular, sooner than later you would find the counterfeit of it. So there are people who now hide under the toga of ritual killings and all of those, whatever, to now do things without killing, you understand, to create the impression of some form of ritual, and you understand, to still hoodwink people, to defraud people. There are people also who claim to be native doctors, for example, and all of those, who are living fantastically wide and large, but they are not native doctors. What are they? They are organ harvesters. This is the reality. You see, acting, my brother, is a representation of life, but not life itself. As an actor, I am called to expose the ills in society with a view to putting out there those things that ought not to do what? To be the ideal. Then my job is done. Of course, that is why you have law enforcement. You have the church to preach from the pulpit. You have people who are into advocacy. We have psychologists. We have people in the medical field. We have so many groups and foundations and NGOs that now begin to, say to you, hey, all those things that Charles Okafor, Richard Mofedamijo, St. Toby, God bless his soul, and the like, have exposed in their works, you understand, should not be the ideal. Stay away from drug. Why is it that if you want to put out an advocacy, a pictorial advocacy, a dramatic advocacy, what you call a skit dramatization against smoking, against this, why do you put out a man that pretends to have coronary thrombosis and all of those, coughing and all of those? Is it that you want to celebrate coronary thrombosis or any sickness of the thought? No, it is just for the people to see what smoking could do to you.
Another thing I'm saying that I'm thinking around this is that why I'm saying whether does it truly exist, because some of those roles doesn't really just show that you go out there and capture the person, maybe and murder the person. Some of those roles shows that you can be at a coven and then try to call someone and murder somebody from inside coven. Law enforcement doesn't sit down. Law enforcement doesn't believe that someone can sit down somewhere and then call in someone's name and kill somebody. Does that kind of belief actually exist? Because that's corrupted the minds of many people.
See, the truth is, it's not just the Southeast, it's everywhere.
Yes.
There are aspects of our culture that I call black culture that we should do away with. You understand? The whole concept of witchcraft and all forms of what the Christian will call demonology and all of those. These things existed. There were people who had extraterrestrial powers for evil, right? Don't ask me, I may not know one or two. But from the point of view of my studies, that is what we call belief system in philosophy. What do you believe? What works for you? There are equally people who, on account of these things that we have exposed, have become better people in society, have been educated, and their minds have been rewired to go, like the Americans will stay on the straight and narrow. And today, they are happier and better for it. So it's a two-way street thing, my brother. There are people, and they are in the majority, who see the put out in terms of advocacy from our works. You understand? As we expose ritual killings and the like and the like and the like. And they learn a lot from them. You understand? And better their ways. I agree with you that there are a few, and quite a few, who say these things, and rather than take the positive from it, go and begin to run with the negative.
Exactly.
But there is nothing we can do. It is the reality of life. I mean, the Bible says in Deuteronomy chapter 28, I put before you, you understand, life and death. It says, choose life that thou mayest live. Life itself is a reality of choice. You can walk out of this place and decide, you know what, I don't want to do podcasting anymore. I want to go and sit down and do Yahoo. I mean, you wouldn't blame it on the actor that exposes Yahoo. You understand? But if our musicians, again, I go back to entertainment, and I have nothing against them. I mean, they are also hustling and making a living. But they too should begin to reconsider what they are putting out by way of advocacy. Are they bringing value to human existence? What are they doing to save the future of these young ones? They too have children. Would they rather their children grew to see, life from the prism of dollars, money, naked women playing around them? Can that ever be all there is to life? So at some point, and it happened to me, by the way, at some point in my life a couple of decades back, I just said to myself, Charles, you've done a lot of entertainment acting. All right? To the glory of God, and I say it with deep sense of humility, I'm no longer looking for fame. I have all the fame that I would need in 3 lifetimes. But how much have I brought? What value have I brought to making this world we live in a better place? By my actions, no longer acting. You see, I tell my colleagues when we gather, if I, Charles Okafor, play the role of a thief in a movie, I'm not a thief. What have I just done? I have represented a reality of life, which is stealing. That is what I did, a representation. But that's not who I am. But if, when I get out of the character of playing the role of a thief, I see somebody's pen, and I look to the left and right, and I fap it, like we say, I'm no longer acting. I'm a thief. Do you understand? So, what value are you bringing to humanity, especially in these times? I mean, this world has gone crazy. We live in times that benumb any form of rational thinking. Just name the evil. It exists in this world.
Now, what do you think are the top traits, top 5 traits that makes one a
The what?
great actor? Top 5 traits that makes one a great actor.
The first will be the fact that you were born into it, latent sensibility.
Okay.
The second will be your capacity to develop that which is in you. Okay? But let me go back to number 1 quickly again to say that you need to have a very deep sense of clarity that you are gifted in this direction. I have seen a lot of people, and a lot come to me to say, hey, I'd like to be like Genevieve Nnaji. I want to be like Mona Lisa Chinda. I'd like to be like Gloria Nozier Young. And and then that is all there is to their desiring to be actors. And I'm using the word actors generically for male and female. Nothing more. But are you intrinsically, latently gifted in that direction? It's another thing. I mean, let me juxtapose it with what I've seen amongst a few people. I know of somebody who is highly placed in one of the big banks. A lady, all right, who is a banker. But each time she sat at meetings, management meetings and a few other very strategic, bank engagements and all of those. She suddenly, according to what she told me, she suddenly just realized that she got lost. By the time she came back to her senses, her notes, her loose sheets for taking down points had become what? Had become beautiful portraits of flowers and things that she had drawn. When she drew those things, she didn't know. And I said to her, Madam, maybe you are in the wrong industry. There are people that are creatively endowed, but they are in some other areas. And then she opened up and told me that she read banking because her father wanted her to read banking. That all her life she had wanted to be a visual artist. As I speak to you today, she owns one of the biggest interior decorating companies somewhere, in this city.
Wow. So one, you have to be born with it.
Born with it?
And to be
No. You need to be born with it. Then have a clarity about what God has given you. What is given to you has not given to me. You can't want to be a Charles Okafor, probably because you want fame. I can't want to be like you in order for me to gross all the money in the world. Are you born into it? That's number 1. Now, when you have that clarity, that certainty, then of course, how do I develop this which is in the inside of me? Right?
Okay.
Remember, I keep going back. David was made king, but Saul was still alive. But he didn't ascend the throne immediately. It took him under 17 years grooming, development before he came up. He came to the throne. So my take would be, identify that you have this gift. Then be sure that you have it. Then develop it. Are you listening? Then when you have developed it, you understand, be committed to that which is in your hand. Nobody grows in anything in life to become successful through a flight by night arrangement. If you gain it by flight by night, then either you are a thief, or you are a mediocre, or you are a fraudster. Anything you cannot legitimately explain as your accomplishment, anything that you cannot tell boldly that you did without turning to the left or right, you understand, you gained or you got from means that are unsavory, like we say. So when you have done that, you must be committed to it and be sure to be conscientious. You don't get into the creative industry today, I hope to be the biggest name tomorrow. So are you called to the industry? And there are so many people in the industry that are not called to the industry, unfortunately. Again, we want to excuse the fact that in a certain country called Nigeria, with the level of unemployment, a lot of people just want to chance anything, to get by. It's painful, no doubt, but that does not help you to actualize your vision and your God-given talent. Your talent may not be in being an actor. It could be as a director, being behind the camera. And I tell our female folks oftentimes, I want to see award-winning directors of photography. And thank God today we have brilliant cinematographers that are female, directors that are female, producers that are female.
Okay, that is number 3, commitment.
No, that's number 4.
Okay, number 4.
And then finally, if you ask me, submitting totally to the will of God, to say, Lord, if you have created me in this direction, prosper me in it. And God cannot give you anything that will destroy you. And so sometimes when I hear people give testimonies and I sold 10 naira and the Lord gave me 10 million, and I'm like, wow, how? If you have not seen 50,000 naira, then God will give you 500 million naira. He can't give you what will destroy you. God builds you. That is my interpretation of Matthew chapter 5, where he teaches us how to pray. Is it chapter 5 or chapter 6? When it says, when you pray, say this: Our Father in heaven, blah, blah, blah. Give us today our daily bread.
Now, coming to add to this, your last part of it, now that you mentioned about God prospering you. Now, what do you have to say about royalties? Because you tend to see that some actors, they can be very famous, act lots of movies, and you see they end up maybe they're not having anything, or they end up, or you see that when they are sick, they come to the public, start requesting for help, soliciting for help. What happened? You see, these are famous, great actors. What happened in that regard?
Systemic dysfunction. It is as a result of the fact that we do not have systems that protect our intellectual property capacities. It dovetails to the absence of leadership. I'm talking about leadership from the political standpoint now. If people have given of their time to work hard and all of those, it is the responsibility of leadership to protect and assure their future and whatever ought to come to them by way of royalty. But not so in this part of the world. We have not developed up to that point. But let's just hope and pray that sooner than later, the issue of royalty, but it's been there for quite a while, and nothing is coming out of it. I mean, again, the absence of a well-structured industry where there is consideration for what ought to be the right of operators in the industry is taking cognizance of. It is painful, it's crying sad that a lot of us, a lot of our colleagues have died. Not because nature or life ended for them naturally.
Exactly.
But because they couldn't afford.
Exactly.
There is no health scheme. There is no royalty. There is no national provision for those who have served within defined time frames to say that this level of practitioners, not just actors, could be musicians, could be painters, dancers, and all, should receive this level of medical intervention from the coffers of government. So, you see, it is not just an industry thing. It speaks to the absence of the kind of people-centered leadership that ought to galvanize, the betting of this level of consideration.
So it is government that could do that, not the producers or directors or things like that.
How much do these producers have? Have you bothered to ask yourself what has happened with the intellectual property infringement, what you call piracy, to most of the works of people in the industry, not just in film, even books, publications, and all of those? The world works are faked, undermined, reproduced without express permission from the owners, thereby leading to the real owners losing in quantum. So they invest so much and they get so little. And this has psychological implications upon themselves, medical implications upon their lives. So you see, the absence of leadership is a challenge to growth, development, prosperity in the creative world. And you know that Nollywood is just a compartment of the larger creative compartment.
Now, what do you think should happen then for situations like this to be resolved finally? What do you think should happen?
Square pegs in square holes. Who oversees or superintends the ministry, agencies, and departments or parastatals that ought to be supervising the creative industry? And I'm speaking about the creative industry because that is my forte. And I'm not talking about political appointments. I'm not talking about political consideration. I'm talking about people who are genuinely well versed in the challenges in the industry and come sincerely to the table to see how much they could put together to give us a future.
Now, in rounding off now, what do you think happened with the Nollywood movies? What do you think about Nollywood? I mean, the Nollywood movies and then the YouTube movies. Do you think it has disrupted the Nollywood movies, or it's a good idea for
it? Is a fantastic idea. Again, how is it said? When the animal runs loosely in the forest, the hunter shoots loosely. You have an all-commerce industry. The regulatory framework is not clearly defined. Then you have over 26% of your youths unemployed. You have spiraling inflation. You have mass emigration from one point to the other. Mass migration. You have politics being transformed into a lucrative industry where all sorts, brigands, thugs, touts, suddenly become multimillionaires, driving the streets in a streak of convoy cars.
How do you mean?
Where they graduates back into the mother's kitchen for the mother to continue to feed him or her. So you find that it's an entire madhouse that can only give room and rise to every man to himself and God for us all.
So you're saying
you find that hunger, the quest to survive, because the first principle of life itself is self-preservation. To survive by any means necessary. Challenges you to do all sorts. It is even one of the reasons why we have increase in Yahoo. Everybody is just trying to eke out a living because there is no system that has taken care of the fact that if you've gone to school, you ought to be well positioned or accommodated or engaged within the area of your strength. So YouTube is a welcome development for me. There are people who are living fat on skits. There are people who are still in conventional filmmaking. There are those who have graduated to doing cinemas. I mean, you have Showmax, you have Roku and the likes. People are busy, expressing and ventilating talent. One, talent, and number two, finding every means necessary for survival.
Now you have been absent a bit on the screen for a while now. What is Charles Okafor?
For a while, maybe because I've not been as visible as I used to be.
Yeah.
But again, in one of my answers, I did tell you that at some point in my career, I paused to ask myself what value I was bringing to humanity beyond entertainment, which had brought me so much fame. And that is why I began to do more of advocacy. And of course, I was commissioned through the International Organization for Migration to execute, a global television miniseries titled "What's on Your Mind," which we filmed across jurisdictions. It was funded by the Switzerland government, and we filmed about 8 years ago in Nigeria and elsewhere, even filmed in Switzerland. And then, of course, there was a European Union funded project that took us, overseen by ECOWAS, that took us to 4 countries to shoot, a motion picture. The one funded by the European government had to do with a campaign against all forms of irregular migration. You would observe over time, that most West Africans, had begun to die in their droves in their bid to go to Europe through, the Sahara Desert, through Kano to Niamey and all of those to Libya. And of course, each trip was fraught with a lot of fatalities. Not to talk about those who even got sunk in the Mediterranean and they made to cross the Atlantic Ocean. So this donor-funded project was to campaign against all forms of irregular migration. Then of the one we did again about 5 years ago had to do with a campaign, to encourage what we call sub-regional integration from a socioeconomic perspective. The idea was to say that rather than go and die in your bid to go to Europe, why not stay within your sub-region, West Africa, and harness the glut of opportunities that exist here. It was a beautiful experience filming across about 4 citizen communities of West Africa. So we've been doing a lot of advocacy projects. And of course, when the story is good, again, talking about content, and we're able to identify that we belong squarely in terms of characterization. Of course, I did that down on my daddy, where I've done quite some other projects between the Coast Bloodline and many others. So I may not be as visible, because I do a lot of advocacy projects. I'm here today, I'm not in this country tomorrow. But in all of these, we are here, and I will beat you to the question. I am not a pastor. Yes, I am a Christian. And people said, I have had people say that Charles Okafor has quit acting, he has become a pastor. That is not true. That is not true. I am not a pastor by any stretch of the word. Am I a Christian? By all means, proudly so. But am I a pastor? No. If you have a good script, please call me and let us discuss. And if the money is good, we'll do it.
Because people would like to see you on more of cinema movies and all of
Oh yeah, we do. And by the way, I think in December, Nigeria will be hit with the return of Isakaba, produced and directed by the governor himself, Lancelot Odua Emaswe.
Wow.
Yes, I mean, it parades my humble self, Sam Dede, Chidebo Keme, Iyabo Ojo, and many others. Nosa. Wow. I mean, it's a must watch. I think it's a way to do Christmas. Wow. It's a way to do Christmas, to celebrate Christmas. And it's a huge cinema project. Yeah.
Wow. Finally, in 2 minutes, what can you say to our Nigerian youths out there that can aid them in this economy currently?
this is not the best time to be a youth. I'm sorry to say that. The Nigerian youth is harassed, arranged, pressured on every side. Is it Okite? Is it Kolos? Is it Loud? Is it Indian Hemp? Is it Yahoo Yahoo? This is not the best time to be a youth. But I can say this. If you are able to resist the allure of quick money, the allure of negative peer influence, if you are able to submit to parental mentoring, if you can only listen to your parents, and above all, if you can only serve God genuinely as a youth, you will succeed like Timothy succeeded. You know, there was something I read somewhere in the book of 2 Timothy. When Paul saw what became of Timothy, how Timothy had become successful, famous in quotes, in all things that glorified God, he said, Timothy, I am not surprised. Each time I look at you, I see your mother, Eunice, in you. And your mother's mother, Eloise, in you. That speaks volume to the direction I am hoping youths will go. The direction to resist the appurtenances of quick wealth. Study. Resist the pressure. Suffer if you have to suffer. Then you have a future. Then you can raise your head proudly and say, I made this happen. It doesn't matter if you don't have all the money in the world. Your parents will be proud of you. Even you will be proud of yourself. Oftentimes, when you see most of these young people move around, check them out. Sometimes I talk to them. You find that they walk lost. They have all of these things. But when they see any decent young man walk past, or decent young lady walk past, you would see in their faces a profound sense of regret. Yes, I have all of this, but what has become of my life? So, take your studies seriously, youth. Resist the pressure of everything and anything negative. Don't go into drug addiction and the intake of psychotropic substances. Obey your parents. Take your studies very hard. Fear God. Love God. And you would be successful, prosperous. Whatever God has imputed in you, you would be. In Jesus' name.
Amen. I just Charles Okafor, thank you very much. Is there something maybe I didn't ask that you may like to share or talk about?
Well, to just say that we should keep believing in Nigeria. We don't have any other country. Like you, I'm not finding it funny. It is not easy. I criticize too myself, I must confess. I'm not one to pretend that I'm happy with all that is going on. But I know that except the seed falls to the ground and dies, it shall not sprout tomorrow. There is a tomorrow for this country. God couldn't have made a mistake to bring you and I together to be a part of over 250 million people in this country called Nigeria. Nigeria shall be great again. Let's keep trusting. Let's keep loving. Let's keep being patriots. Let us pray for our leaders. Those are our obligation from God. And leaders, help us now. What happened now? People help us. People help us. You know, easy. Gary is costly. We need to get lights. I mean, it takes just one man, a leader, to say, you know what? Our people don't suffer enough. Let's make we help them small. Thank you.
And that is Charles Okafor once again. Thank you so much, sir, for this powerful.
I hope I made sense.
Thank you so much. A lot. You have been absent on social media. What is the problem? What has been happening?
Oh well, maybe because I have elected to live that way. I'm a very private person. I'm more given to thoughts and research. I write a lot of papers. I deliver papers, not just in Nigeria but elsewhere. I get invitation to look at topical issues. So I always find myself buried in one research work or the other, or being on location when the content, the story is good. And so I'm not a party person.
But no, that can aid your publicity out there.
I know, but you see, I know, but you see, those who know you. You cannot be everywhere at the same time.
The world of social media now is the world of money.
I agree with you. You see, that is the challenge of money.
No, but we need it.
We do. And that is why I've offered you this invitation to speak to. Your podcast is arguably one of the most thriving everywhere. I mean, it goes very wide, and I want to subscribe and tell people to share, like and share this. Not even because Charles Okafor has been interviewed, but previous contents on this podcast are mind-blowing, very ingenious, very scholastic, and very creative. So, I mean, through people like you, we may gain some visibility, which may translate to legitimate money. I must emphasize the word legitimate. And it's not about money in all things. If you're not hungry and you are contented, the Bible says a little with contentment is great gain.
But you know, if you're on Instagram, I can tag you on all these things. So people can bring more followers to you, more eyeballs, more engagement, and people can call you on various other things.
More people looking into your life and then telling the lies that they ought not to tell, because it has also destroyed. You see, maybe because I'm a very strong family man. I love family. My wife and my children are the center of my world. And so one has to be careful. Yeah, balance them out. Make the money. I don't need fame anymore. But please, love your family and keep your family intact. Once you become too visible and ubiquitous, you will be attracting the good, the bad, and the terrible.
It's part of life. People like KOK are visible. People like KOK are visible.
Those are their choices. I can't be KOK. I don't even want to be KOK. I don't want to be every other person. I don't even want them to be like me.
Or Kenneth.
Or Kenneth Inebu. I don't want to Kenneth Okoko, my beloved, brilliant brother. I'm just saying that this is how I want to live my life, and I'm healthy. I do what we call lifestyle audit. When you stay away from clubbing, over partying, your psychomotor is intact. You don't do all of these big expensive drinks. Drink plenty of water, jog, stay fresh and healthy, and eat good food. Enjoy the comradeship of family. Laugh with your wife and your children, and be happy with even the 10 naira you have when it is blessed from God. You like money a lot. And by the way, you know he looks like Falls. Falls, if you are watching, this guy is your twin brother. Ask cerebral father Sam whether he had I'm joking, please, before he comes and throws me into prison. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. So guys, that is Charles Okafor. This powerful or mind-blowing episode of Salah Meditate. I hope and I believe you have been highly impacted. I remember your very host, Benzik. And it's the first time of coming to the channel. Like this video, share it, subscribe to this channel. I'll do my best to bring you high calibers of individuals so they can transform you, impact your life, transform your mindset, and help in all areas that's going to challenge your life. That is the core of this podcast, and I'll do my best to ensure we keep to that. I don't know if you like chat, people can reach out to you more or learn to follow your things like that. You like to share things like that.
No, I mean, now that you have even talked about Instagram, maybe you can arrange that for your program for me. That's
okay. Maybe people can send you email in case you want to
yes, my email. I'll send it to you. You want me to give them CIOaliveAfrica@yahoo.co.uk. CIOaliveAfrica, one word, @yahoo.co.uk.
Okay.
Yes.
Instagram.
I'm not on Instagram until you have arranged me.
All right, so that's it. So guys, thank you for this powerful time. I thank my guest once again, Charles Okafor,
Thank
for
you.
this inspiring episode.
Thank
So
you.
thank you very much, sir. It's a blessing. Thank you.